things have occurred in Russia, which, frankly speaking, were beyond the imagination of most. And although the situation regarding the armed insurrection of Wagner Group, a private military contract corporation company, military organization, things have quieted down. There are a lot of questions. How did this happen? What exactly happened? And what's going to happen? I couldn't think of a better guest to have to talk about this issue than the one we have today. Konstantin, experienced Russian diplomat, currently serves as a senator from Murmansk. He is an expert in international law, Russian law, and I think both of those issues are at play here today. Konstantin, it's good to see you. How are you doing today?
Yeah, Scott, hi. Great to see you. From a distance, unfortunately. I haven't seen you for a while, since our busy time in New York City. You remember?
I remember.
United Nations. Do you still remember that organization?
I do, and I remember that myself and my colleagues caused you and your colleagues many sleepless nights between 1995 and 1998.
Days and nights. Yeah. Actually, weeks and months. I would to be precise. Yeah. But
well, I'm surprised
now
you're still willing
it's
to
a
talk to me.
different stage of the international politics, and it's different UN, and many things are different. The international law has been ruined, which you mentioned, and it hasn't been ruined by us, by Russia. So let me come back to the issue which you raised. And well, first of all, shall I call it not an insurrection? Shall I call it a mutiny? Because
again, this is the key question to you.
Well,
what is this?
No, I think that the basic assessment has been given by our president and commander-in-chief of all Russian forces, military forces, President Putin. And he said on Saturday morning, he said very clearly in his address to the Russian citizen, he said that it is absolutely impermissible to put one's ambitions, private goal, whatever, conflicts, whatever, above national interests, above the interests of the consolidation of society, the consolidation of all Russians, for the sake of the victory, in the struggle which we are waging. Which it's not just a special military operation against the Ukrainian forces. You are a professional, Scott. You understand that it is not the Kiev regime, basically, which we are fighting against, and we are fighting thousands of mercenaries from different Western, primarily countries. So not only Western, but primarily Western. We are fighting and destroying Western weapons. We understand that the Ukrainian army is being equipped, is being financed, is being fueled by the West. And it is the West's struggle against Russia. There are numerous historical examples of such a struggle in the past, and we all know what the outcome has been. Historical outcome. And it will be the same. I will just recall, if I may, what the Prime Minister of Hungary said, Mr. Orban. He said he is not a Russian citizen. He's not a Russian politician. He is, by the way, a politician of, he is prime minister of the country, member of the European Union and NATO. And he said that, are you really guys serious? You want to overcome, you want to win a war against a nuclear power? He is a realistically minded man. Unfortunately, he is in minority in the political establishment of the West today. You are also, Scott, in minority among the experts. But still there are realistically minded experts, and hopefully there will be more. What happened on Friday and Saturday is basically mutiny. Whatever the reasons, whatever the conflicts, the business interests which looks like they have been involved on Mr. Prigozhin's side, some personal idiosyncrasies as well, but nothing, absolutely nothing, merits such a step, such a decision to take very good fighters from the front and to send them to the inner part of the country, to the cities, to Rostov, Voronezh, and ultimately to Moscow. Let us be frank. We are realists. It must be understood that this mutiny would have been suppressed in any case. It is absolutely clear, at least to me. I am not a military man. I don't have full information, and I am not supposed to have this full information. But from what I know, there are numerous divisions, military divisions, military units, well equipped, very well equipped, around which are located around Moscow. Paratroopers, internal forces, others. Obviously, they would have encountered this group of Wagner men. And the outcome would have been very precise. But there would have been blood. Blood spilled. Russian blood. Most of those fighters, Wagner fighters, they heroically fought in Solidar, in Artyomovsk, and I'm sure that many of them will have an opportunity to continue fighting. They have this opportunity now to sign a contract with the Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation. This possibility has been given to them, this chance has been given to them by our president and commander-in-chief. And I understand that quite a number of people are ready to do it. Some probably have already done it. I don't have the statistics, but I'm sure. And they will continue fighting the enemy. So it would have been a great pity, to say the least, to kill those people in the fields of Serpukhov. This is why negotiations started, and they have been maintained upon the decision of our president. I mean, president has okayed those talks because he never wanted bloodshed. He never wanted this military conflict inside Russia. And he said it very clearly, never again we will be in 1917. Never again. We will not lose our country once again. And believe me, Scott, I have talked to myriads of people myself. On Friday night, on Saturday, yesterday, this morning, different people of different walks of life. Many of them are far away from the politics. All of them have said, it's excellent that there has been no bloodshed. It's excellent that there has been this negotiated decision, but it has been a mutiny, and the president has once again was on top of the situation, and he guarantees our security as the Russian people, as the Russians. There has been full confidence. I haven't heard myself, not a single doubt in our president. Concern, yes. Yeah. Some different feelings, especially on Saturday, in the middle of Saturday, let me put it this way. Because it was very much unclear. But no, not a single doubt that the Russian army would prevail, that the president would pin it down. And it's very important. This is why they started the talks. That is why they accepted the decision, the negotiated decision. They haven't met popular support. Army has not supported them. Paramilitary structures have not supported them. FSB hasn't supported them. The other, as we call them, siloviki, or let's say, militarized units, government units, haven't supported them. And very important, ordinary people haven't supported them. They didn't want bloodshed in Rostov. This is why, luckily, there have been no provocations. Nobody shot at them, and I mean at Wagner people. And the Wagner people didn't shoot back, or they didn't start shooting. It is very important because most of them didn't want, I understand, to shoot at their compatriots, fellow citizens. But there could have been provocations, of course. But it's also very important. This is why it was so very important to put an end to it as quickly as possible. Because Rostov is a big city. But it happened that a friend of mine was in Rostov at that time, just visiting her parents. And we were in touch with her, myself and my wife. She's a friend of our family. And she was reporting to us what was happening, I mean, live. Many were surprised. Some people were shocked. But absolutely nobody wished success to the mutineers, to Wagner. Many people understood that those guys came from the front. It's our guy who just fought against our enemy. Tanks were dirty. Armored vehicles were dirty. They just came from the trenches. And it was clear that it was something queer was around it. Now I'm just describing the sentiment of the people of those who were there in the streets.
No, I understand, but you're a lawmaker, and I believe, again, we can get into the semantics, but I think we both agree what Wagner did was illegal. A violation of the Constitution, a violation of the law. There was no legal justification for what Wagner did. And yet today, as an outside observer, we're looking at the equivalent of the best plea deal that's ever been made. Prigozhin should be charged with treason, should be executed, should be given long sentence, but instead he's exiled to Belarus. The 8,000 soldiers that accompanied him, I can't even call them soldiers because soldiers fight for their country. These fighters, these insurgents fought for a criminal. And they've been given likewise clemency for their crime. Those who directly participated in this cult of personality are likewise apparently being allowed to go to Belarus. Meanwhile, the families of 12 Russian service members have dead fathers, dead sons, dead people murdered by Wagner. How does this square? Because some people are looking at this and saying, this doesn't smell right. This smells like that this wasn't an insurrection. This was, and this is where I get a little frustrated. They say it was Maskirovka, an information operation, 5D chess, that Putin and Prigozhin are on the same team playing a clever game to fool everybody into this genius. There's no genius. There's 12 dead Russian service members, people who were serving their country, who were murdered by illegal insurrectionists. What justice will there be if Prigozhin and those who committed these crimes are allowed clemency in Belarus?
Well, first of all, Scott, I fully understand what you are saying emotionally, and not just emotionally. I haven't seen, personally, let me be very frank, I haven't seen official confirmation of the death of those pilots, Russian servicemen. There have been reports that several helicopters and I think one plane have been down, but shot at and destroyed. Let's be frank. Before the death of a person is confirmed, you shouldn't treat him or her as a dead person. Let us be just a matter of correctness. So, they died, and I'm saying if, because it's a very delicate matter. It's not. I'm not afraid of anything because I mean there have been reports. I haven't seen an official report. Maybe there is an official confirmation. I haven't seen it yet. But if this is true, they heroically did what they were supposed to do, and this is a great pity and a very great loss. If this is true, I mean, if they're really dead. But firstly, secondly, I cannot, and I'm not in the position to doubt the motives of the agreement which has been reached, and which, Scott, this is very important, which saved the lives of many servicemen, Russian servicemen, and of many, I am completely convinced, many civilians. Because when a shooting, serious shooting starts, even outside city, I mean, along the federal route, there are myriads of civilian cars there, buses. Inevitably, there would have been losses. Inevitably. And that would have been, of course, a different situation. morally different situation in many respects. Once again, the mutiny would have been suppressed, but the price would have been different. I don't hear you. There is a bad connection, Scott. I don't hear what you are saying. But what I am saying is that, let me just finish a bit. It is important that this is an end to this mutiny. That the servicemen, I mean, those who participated, rank and files, they are given the chance, but because they haven't been, most of them, they didn't shoot. Yes, it was illegal. Yes, it's a violation of Russian constitution. Yes, it's a violation of Russian laws. But absolutely, all the assessments have been given. And these assessments will not disappear. But the situation is that the bloodshed has been suppressed, the mutiny, in a bloodless, basically bloodless manner. And the president, our president, we should say thanks to him for this. Because I can imagine, just a personal note, I cannot imagine myself in his shoes. Such great, I don't know how to put it, I don't know, self-control. This very seasoned thinking and reasoning on his part. This kind of strategic thinking, as always. It's unimaginable. To control one's emotions for the sake of public safety, for the sake of consolidation of society, for the sake of the continuation, successful continuation of the special military operation. We need people for that operation. We need experienced fighters for that operation. But it should be according to the Russian laws, and it should be within a single military organization of Russia. Military infrastructure. It is very important. And I don't know what the prospects for Mr. Prigozhin will be personally. You may ask me. I don't know, frankly. I don't know. But